Thank you and congratulations. I'd like to say a big hello to Ohio because I'm from Columbus. I'm Haley Sands and this is William Cass. And now to our debate. We have with us in the studio our guests for tonight.
With us are a tough-talking panel of students and opinionated academics to discuss a curious conjunction of history between 1968 and 2008.
There isn't time to introduce all of the individuals, but one thing we can say is that they're some of Westminster's most radical and opinionated students, plus a special guest, also an Ohioan, from the London School of Economics.
But first, as Mel said earlier, 40 years ago the Beatles broadcast a message of world peace with All You Need Is Love. Now, because we can't possibly afford the copyright, Westminster student Che Kooley has produced this chill-out piece to remind those of us who weren't there just what 1968 was all about. Okay, well done, Che. So, over to the panel. Could you tell us briefly what the parallels are between 1968 and 2008? Perhaps, Simon, you could start us?
Yeah, well, from my perspective as a socialist, I think we have to look at it how history is sort of repeating itself in a way. So, the end of 68, you had the end of the post-war boom beginning. You had a very unpopular imperialist war, in Vietnam and at this time in Iraq and Afghanistan. And you also had questions of class, race, gender being raised in a different way to how it's being raised now in the US presidential elections with, say, Obama and, say, Hillary Clinton and Palin and things like that. But also kind of a real sense of people questioning the way things are and wanting to try and fight for some kind of change. So I think those things are still the same.
Right.
Michael?
Well, what I would like to do is just to follow up on what he said. And one of the parallels we've seen is that before we saw a lot of these protests and a lot of these resistance movements. Now we see a lot of young people like they did then. Now they're taking that energy and they're putting it into the polls. they're actually getting themselves registered to vote, so their vote is their voice.
Right.
So affecting change not necessarily by protesting on the streets like many of African Americans did during the civil rights, or many feminists did, or as many people who were opposing the Vietnam War did. Because I think now we've moved towards a society that's become very socially disaffection, where we don't really care anymore. So I think people are now becoming a lot more affectioned, and they're taking, their zeal and they're putting it into the polls. They're taking it to the voting ballot because they see that works a lot more effectively.